This is AI.R. Artists in Residence Broadcasting, coming to you once a week from New York City. Hello, I'm John Cullum, and this is my wife, Emily Frankel.
In a mood to nag John today.
Oh, my goodness gracious.
Instead of talking
that's
about
very unusual.
Instead of talking about my post and my blog, M's Talkery, I want John to talk about the work that he's doing. He's not employed now. He doesn't go to unemployment line because John doesn't have to go to unemployment line. He'll be getting another job soon.
That's
but
right.
This is what he's doing all day long. He's working on lyrics for a show that he's writing. He wrote a show that I love that we worked on together. It was called The Jack Tale. Tell us about the Jack Tale.
Well, the Jack Tales are based on Appalachian folk tales that, and a lot of the music is based on some of those ballads and old hymnals.
John used to tell me the Jack Tale every night when it was time to sleep. It's the same old story. There's Jack Be Nimble, Jack Sprat, Jack and the Beanstalk,
Right.
Jack.
This was called Jack and the Doctor's Daughter.
But it started out with him saying, Jack went down the road and he came to the doctor's house and he saw the doctor's daughter and she was a-hoeing in the garden.
Very good.
And he said, howdy. And she said, howdy. And he said, mind if I hoe a while? And she said, suit yourself. And that was the beginning of a romance.
That's about that time Emily would be asleep, so that's one of the problems.
It was a little boring, but the musical wasn't boring. John, here's a song that I love.
Which one is that?
This is the song that you wrote for the doc. The
Oh.
doc, after Jack makes a deal with the doc to marry his daughter, Doc shows what kind of a tough guy he is. He does not like Jack. Sing a little bit,
Yeah,
but John,
he's very self-centered, and this particular song is usually sung by the sheriff, who makes comments on Doc, and then Doc sings a little bit himself, and he says it shows how much Doc thinks of himself. He says, there's nothing wrong with some folks being emperor won't solve. They figure that they're pretty near perfection. They think it'd be a better world if mankind would resolve to kneel and scrape and bow in their direction. Doc has got it figured out that he's a mite too good for Jack and all the other folks in the neighborhood. Doc really don't hate Jack, except for the fact he's born on the wrong side of the track. I'm the best, says Doc. I'm the best, I really am. I'm the very best. I'm the best, tra-la-la-la. I really can't deny it. I'm just better than the rest. Oh, oh, lucky to be me. And then they do a little dance.
plunka, 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 plunka. That's the part that I can. That's the part I can do best.
The tune is a tune from. It's actually an old kind of spiritual song, or taken from the slave songs.
Skeeters and Muhammad on the honeysuckle vine, sleep, Kentucky, babe. No, John, I want to go.
Now, wait a minute. You.
I want to go into what you're working on right now.
Okay.
We're not working on Jack. We didn't do
Before
Jack.
we do that, one thing that I am kind of proud of, that I did write a poem for you.
No, I want to do that a separate time.
Oh, okay. So what are we going to do?
Jim wrote a wonderful poem for me, but that's another day. I want you to sing the opening song of what you're working on. What I wanted to say was we didn't produce Jack because Jack needed a cast of 22, and it would have taken us, a few years to begin to raise money for it, and it was a children's show, and we didn't feel that spending 4 or 5 years raising money to produce a children's show was what we ought to be doing. But this is another project that's taking all Beethoven's time.
This takes one character. The central character is Jacob, one of the major apostles, and he's the narrator of it, and he's telling about the beginning of the world. And he says, it was empty, there was nothing, Not a sight, not a sound, not a thing to be found. It was faceless, devoid and spaceless, nothing to sing about, nothing at all. Then out of nothing, a tiny fireball popped up from nowhere. Out of nowhere at all, a cosmical spatter of creative matter, an earth-forming, earth-splitting, horrific heaven. Will not have to read this.
No, read it. I love those lines. Just say it.
A cosmical spatter of creative matter, an earth-forming, ear-splitting, horrific, heavenly clang with a big kabang. So that's kind of a tribute to Hawkins, the great mathematician, and his theory of how the world began, with the Big Bang.
I'm glad you're working on it, and I hope you keep on working on it. And even though I'd like you to get another job, I want you to continue working on that.
Well, you're very, very supportive of me. Thank you very much. This is AI.R. See you next week.